I've got another review that I'm excited about. This is Lionel's new Legacy 442 Atlantic from their 2022 Volume 1 catalog. So in the last couple of years, I've been collecting Lionel's semi-scale Atlantics. You know, they're the engines that came out, I think Lionel released them in the 1970s. They're those semi-scale Atlantics that came in those starter sets. Lionel still makes them. They make them, of course, in the Lion Chief version. I have one of my Atlantics. I've got 7 or 8 of them. And one of them I have is from Lionel, the Lionel Lines 1900 starter set that they just came out with, I think about 2 years ago. And I have the Lion Chief version, the 1900. I have that, which is a fun little engine to run. So upon collecting these engines, you know, I like collecting them because they're inexpensive and they're good little runners. I said to myself, you know, it'd be fun to have an authentic prototypical version. So when Lionel announced in the 2022 Volume 1 catalog that they were going to be releasing this engine, I jumped right on it and ordered it. So of all the engines that I've ordered from the 2022 Volume 1 catalog, this engine in particular is the one I was most looking forward to. I'm real excited to have this engine in my collection. I have a number of large engines, and it's nice to have a smaller one. And I just think it's just a cool looking engine with the big drive wheels. So an interesting thing happened while filming this video. I started filming this video about a week ago, and when I was filming the running session, the sound, the chuffing sound of this engine started to stop working. And there was no chuffing sound. You had all the other sounds, but no chuffing sound. So I took this engine back to Charles Rowe, and I always keep the receipt close at hand because if there's ever a problem with these engines, you can exchange it for a new one as long as you have the receipt. So I brought it back to Charles Rowe, and they swapped it out for me. So in this video, you'll actually see 2 different versions of this engine. Some of the shots you'll see of it running around are going to be the first engine before the sound stopped working, and then some of the other clips will be from the second engine. Now there are some clips that where the sound kind of cuts in and out. That's the second engine, so it is still kind of doing it, but the sound does come back. The first engine, the sound cut out and wouldn't come back for a long period of time. So I wanted to actually release this video a week earlier, but because of that technical issue, I had to delay this video a week. So I apologize for the delay. I'm just briefly going to be going over the details. So in the front of the locomotive, starting with the front, you've got the marker lights up top that are green by default, but you can change them to white, or you can shut them off altogether. Then you have the headlight with the engine number on either side of the headlight, and then the number hanging below the headlight. And then down below is the prototypical scale coupler that is non-functional, but it does swing back and forth. On the sides, you've got, it looks like the builder's plate at the front, and you have the big drive wheels with the blackened drive wheels with some nice detail, some nice drive rods. Along the sides, you have the handrail that's separately applied. Underneath the cab, you have the engine number. You have the 2 crew figures inside, one on each side, the fireman and the engineer. Up top is you have below the smokestack, behind the smokestack, you have the bell that swings, but it's not the mechanical swinging bell. It does swing if you swing it with your hand. You can swing it back and forth, the decorative bell. And then you have the sand dome and the steam dome and the whistle behind that. Inside the cab, you have the painted gauges inside with the flickering firebox. On the tender, you have the co-load. There's a hatch in the back that opens, but there's nothing inside of it. There's no switches or anything. And then in the back, you have the red marker lights and the rear light that lights up when you put the engine in reverse. You also have the separately applied grab rails, the ladder, and the engine number on the back. So this locomotive, just to kind of go over its features briefly, it is your typical legacy locomotive. It has, you can run it on the cab 1, cab 2, you can run it via Bluetooth or the universal remote, or you can run it conventionally. It has the 5 whistle sounds and the 5 bell sounds. That's standard now in all legacy locomotives. The switches to turn the Bluetooth on and off, turn the smoke on and off, and the run program switches are underneath. You have to rotate the locomotive and access the switches from underneath. And I think they did that because this being a smaller engine, they couldn't, that was the only place they could fit the switches. The drawbar is the wireless, the standard wireless drawbar, which is a nice feature. Easy to connect and disconnect the tender from the locomotive. Of course, like I said before, the classification lights, you can change them from green to white, or you can turn them off altogether. The engine also comes with whistle steam, which is kind of getting to be a standard feature on Lionel steam engines, the whistle steam. My first steam engine that I got, the 844, has whistle steam also, and that was kind of like a new feature that was not standard, but it's pretty much standard now on today's locomotives. So the weight of this locomotive is, the engine itself is 4 pounds 11 ounces, and the tender is 2 pounds 9 ounces, giving it just over a total weight of 7 pounds. And the length is 20 inches coupler to coupler. So I know this locomotive was used for passenger service. Unfortunately, I do not have any New York Central passenger cars as of yet. I'd like to get a couple of heavyweight passenger cars to go with this engine. So in today's running session, I'll be running it with some freight cars. So we'll go ahead and fire this up, and you can see it running around the P&MV. So enjoy.
This is the Yardmaster. Get us set up running. The train will be ready at 17:30. Over. Okay, let's get to work. Out. Dispatcher, ready to roll. Can I pull? Over. Sit tight for a minute. We've got some traffic to clear first. Out.
Better tend that fire while we're waiting. Gonna be a hard pull ahead. Timetable only gives us 10 minutes for this stop. I'll tend the fire. Don't jump off the tape.
Dispatcher, air is made. Brake test complete. Are we clear to pull?